right, hello. Let's see. Oops. Gotta make sure I hit the right buttons and then it works better. Like, why is it not working? I can't hear it. Oh, wait, there we go. All right, let me know if you guys can hear me. Showing there for 9 months. Will's getting his tickets. Put some over here. So I can see the red bar, but let me know how much of a delay there is here. Sounds good. All right, cool. Thank you. My normal people were the ones that were not paying attention today. It's okay. It's all good. All right, so more or less, guys. So today was just kind of a blah Monday. The only thing that really moved much today was the CAD to the downside. As we could see, based off any of the news reports, really the only thing we had today was kind of the, here, I'll hit the button again. There you go. You can see the only thing today was really, I mean, it even disappeared. We had Governor, Milken speaking. So really, again, when there's no news, typically Mondays are a little bit funky if we haven't heard anything. I was actually running a little bit behind today. Two guys in a Discord chat that I'm in, a bunch of guys I play online with. Two of them are emergency care workers. One of them is, actually, there's three guys. One of them works in New York City. He's an EMT, I guess. Another guy is kind of like an EMT, but not, he's inside the hospital. So I guess he's some type of an ER doc. And then another guy is a dietitian, or like some type of data science guy. And some interesting kind of, interesting banner back and forth about COVID-19. And with reopening, they're like, you ready for the one guy's like, are you ready for the second wave? He's like, no. He's like, they're opening movie theaters. I'm like, did they not see Outbreak? And they're like, he's like, yeah. He's like, we got a call today at the, one of the police were telling us that, somebody called the police on somebody else on the street because they were coughing, that they were trying to cough on him. I was like, oh, lovely. So, yeah. So it's pretty interesting to hear, kind of, inside the medical profession, hearing things, and then, obviously statisticians and things like that, looking at raw data and, hearing what they have to say. And, again, we obviously keep track of them and looking at it from the market side, but looking at it from other kind of, other kind of areas and hearing what people have to say and their specialties and stuff. So pretty interesting, but for the most part, because we didn't really have any blockbuster news, I didn't really expect much movement today. And like I said, dollar CAD 85 down. It's about the only thing that moved. Multiple times today, I looked in at the dollar yen and we was basically just completely flat. Pound was flat. You can see euro dollar did 40. And a lot of that's been eaten up. And earlier today, when I was looking, it was up like 19 or 20 or something. So there just wasn't as many trading opportunities. I didn't really see anything that I saw that I was like, yep, let me see. Again, there's a few things we looked at. But for the most part, I mean, the news of the day was really Buffett selling everything. So I love that 1 hour ago. Buffett cautions of extreme consequences from Fed recent moves. I don't know. I would say you dumping all the stocks is probably the biggest one. But we'll see. As far as news goes, this was an interesting article that I looked at talking about, 3 things to look at on Thursday this week. Again, news later on the week, there's definitely a lot more of it. Today, obviously not too much. And again, looking at the hottest news, you can see the Fed releases some information, obviously the policy, and, internal Chinese report warns Beijing faces Tiananmen-like global backlash, which, yep, I agree. I think so. From the very, very beginning, I've been saying that there should be, some type of sanctions or anything. And we'll see. It looks like they're, it's coming. It's coming. And then Elon Musk every day. I think he just tries to stay in the news every day. I think that's his goal. If he stays in every day, I think that's what he considers successful. But it's just like, it's hysterical. I love the guy. He's over there, he's definitely a genius in a way that people just never fully understand, I don't think. But, yeah. I think there's a method to his madness. I'll never understand it, but and that's basically it. Like I said, for more or less, it was flat. Again, looking into the scanner, it's another one of those days. Remember last week, every single thing was a setup. Well, look at today. No setups. One confirmed. No setups at all. One setup total. No setups. No setups. So what does that tell you about market conditions right now? Not great. Lower time frame on the hourlies, you can see there's a lot of confirmed stuff, but really not many setups across the board at all inside of the scanner range. So, it's interesting. Like I said, the scanners had much success on lower time frames. Recently, we've been dealing with either extreme moves or no moves at all. So, kind of interesting, right? Kind of interesting as far as scanner wise goes. And like I said, lower time frames, when I drop this down, like I can stop, I can change this to my other layout and go to my day trader layout. And actually, the reason why it's huge is because I actually have it, it's on a square on my left monitor. But these time frames are working real well. If you guys are using the scanner, 3 hour, 30 minute, 5 minute, and you're getting great opportunities in here. And again, we're not really doing setups on the 5 minute. We're not trading 5-1s. But the 3 hour, 30 minute has been a great combination as far as the scanner goes. But I'm not going to mess up with the sizing of this one because it's going to change it in about 5 different areas. I'll switch it back to this one. All right, so again, always telling, again, the scanner has many different functions, and right now it's telling us that there's not a whole lot of movement, not a whole lot of, consistent trends. So, just keep that in mind right now, all right? Looking at tomorrow, tomorrow we got a bit more news. Like late tonight, we have the, obviously the Aussie cash rate. It's not expected to change. It's only 0.25, so there's not a whole lot for it to go. But the rate statement could be interesting. The rate statement, it's... We'll say they mention something. Again, like I said, the Australian numbers seem like they are doing better. So there may be some language in there talking about, stabilizing or, maybe, I don't think that they're at the raising rate stage yet, but there may be something that talks about later in the year, which may cause a little bit of a market, kind of bump, right? A little Aussie strength or maybe even a little Aussie weakness, depending on what they say. But that could be something interesting to watch. And then we go down, you'll see that there's a German Constitutional Court ruling. Again, that's, anything that's constitutional is always going to be big. Pound news, we have the services PMI. That's probably not going to be too big of a mover at 4:30. And then 8:30 tomorrow morning, we have the CAD balance come in, which should be interesting. Again, today was all CAD strength, dollar weakness. Tomorrow, we'll see if that continues. It may, depending on that trade balance. And then at 10, we have ISM non-manufacturing. Again, if you looked at, the last bit of news we saw, the manufacturing numbers came in pretty good. That was on Friday. Right? You see this ISM manufacturing PMI actually came in much better than expected. Looking at tomorrow, whoops, not that one. Looking at tomorrow, we're going to get the non-manufacturing PMI and see what that comes in. Again, it picked to be very, very low. So that could give us a potential kind of perk in the market tomorrow. We'll see. And then tomorrow night, obviously before chart school, we have the unemployment change and the unemployment rate. So interestingly enough, this is only 4.4, right? I don't know if you guys have looked at it yet, right? But obviously this is non-farm payroll week. Check this out. They're forecasting right now 16% unemployment in the United States and 20% in Canada. Okay? But yet, looking back at tomorrow, the unemployment rate is here. And again, did this one spike? No, not the same way. So, should be pretty interesting to see that number. I don't think it'll actually get that high, at least in New Zealand. But it may give us a little bit of a bump. Should be interesting to look at. Like I said, it's always an interesting number, particularly at 6:45 because there's not really a whole lot else going on there. All right. So jumping across, let's go over to charts. We'll start off with Aussie pairs. All right. Now I have not updated these things, so some of these things will be off. Let's see. Pull some of these out. I'll pull them over here. And these are from last week ones. And again, here's a nice little break. Pop back up again. This was from last Friday. Areas that we're trying to get back down to. A nice pop here. Pull this guy off now. Pull this guy off. We don't need this one again. What is that way? Whoops. This I was going to see. I think this is one of the ones that Ernest took earlier today. Came right down to it. Anyway, just cleared off. It's easier. All right, so from that top zone on the daily that we looked at last week, obviously you guys can see a big drop to the downside. So let's go up to hourly. It's probably the best place to start. Well, we can start on the daily. So there you can see where the daily drop was. Again, nice pullback. We're kind of in that kind of push-up phase now, but obviously Monday was not the biggest mover. A little bit of a down push, and it basically just retraced, right? It came back to a level sitting right over here, right? I can't make it bigger because of the scale of this one right now, but you guys can see it came down and actually bounced right off that level, right, and pushed back up. So it's at it's at like a wick over wick and two zones. You guys can kind of see where the red is right now. Because it found some, buyers here. Let's drop it down a lower time frame. You can see where it found those buyers at, and we can actually shrink this a bit into this level right here, right? Do the correct drawing on it. It's at a level right now where there are some sellers. So it could be interesting. Like I said, I think right here is very telltale. If it's able to punch through here, it looks like we can have a retrace higher. Now, this is Aussie strength, dollar weakness in this play, not the other way around. And this is a pretty, this is a pretty legitimate zone, right? We had some basing, right? We pushed down, we pushed back up, we based in one candle, and then it launched its way to the downside. So we have seen sellers in this area, okay? On a 30-minute, you're able to see it kind of right there. That one shouldn't be going through. You guys should be able to see it right there, right? Again, up, down, up, and then bam, it hammered it down again. So that's where we're at right now. So we know that we're in kind of a smaller area. I don't know if this is going to have the oomph. And again, the one thing you need to worry about is at 12:30 in 3 hours, we do have some Aussie news coming in now. I don't know if it will be able to hold this zone for 3 hours before that news. But the way that it looks right now, it looks like it could be, looks like it could be setting up for a short, okay? Based off of that zone. The risk is not very big. You're talking about rather small risk on this one, only about 8 pips risk. So it's not too bad. But again, we are 3 hours from that risk, or from that news release. If you're going to stay up or you're going to be awake, naturally anyway, definitely something that's worth looking at. See if we are, if that area is holding, see maybe we pushed up into one of these higher zones up here. It may be worth some type of a short position if we're not retracing it off of it early. Okay. Again, using with a smaller time frame, so you're not going to need a big bounce before this one kicks in. Okay. Now, Aussie yen. Aussie yen will go back. We based in that same level again. There was a Harry Potter, and it came back up and retested. I think you can see it over here. Yeah, you can see the retest kind of push. Wasn't the ideal situation. We like to get typically more white space, but you can see it came down, bam, 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 all the way through, and then that brought us down to where we are now, currently with all these positions. Now, here's where that 30-minute was, okay? We got very, very close to actually getting a short position here, right? There was our 30-minute gap. So we're typically looking for entries based off of those 30-minute gaps. You can see with price hitting very, very close and turning and running back from the area, that basically invalidates the setup. So it ended up going a bit higher before pushing back down. But for the most part, all price did since last night was rally back up to exactly where we were on Friday. Okay. In looking at this one, I was like, it looks like it's going to continue to move, but all it did was really bring us right back to where we were on Friday. So what that does is it kind of changes, kind of our thinking, So that is where current price is right now. Actually, you know what? Let me use the other side. There. I'm using that one just because it's on the left, because I know that's going to paint this way. So we're going to move this up into this area right here. And what I like about this, I like the base here. I like the nice red candle, the small base, and then the punch, like the punch through. I don't like that it pushed all the way up into that range. But I do think there's going to be something. I think that's going to either be a kind of a bit of a speed bump, or a potential, again, if we're at the right time for news, that could be a potential kind of, turning point for us. Make sure you hold there. Next zone up above that would be this little area. There's no green in here, but you can see the wicks kind of descending the 1, 2, and 3 to the downside. I do like that little triangle. We talked about those little triangle formations before. It's basically a drop, sideways, and drop is what it is. I don't think there's anything even better on the 30-minute. Now, 30 minutes kind of the same idea. You can see that the basing level here. That's basically it. It's got to move up a bit higher. I mean, for me, there's nothing really else in there. I don't really see any great longs. There's no real strong movement off of this. I mean, I guess down here, but you're so close to, you're so close to this level. I mean, really, for going long, I think you need to wait till price comes back down to this range. Now, that is only, you're only talking about 76 pips. On a daily, this one is about 80 pips. So that may be 1 day away as far as movement goes to the downside. And, at this point also, I probably would not trade this top level again. This top level was pushed literally to the very, very brink. Let me select that one. There we go. Just wanted that out of the way. So I don't think we're gonna have a hold up at the top if we end up pushing that up high. So for right now, I would be looking at I don't even know if I'd take shorts off of that one, but I think right now for me, I'm going to see the way it approaches, see what the entry looks like. But for me, 69.22 would be an area where I'm looking to get short, and 67.88 would be areas where I'm looking to get long at this point. Do it that way. So we know where prices. Although white's going to be hard to see. I need to come up with a new color chart. Black. Black's easy enough to see. There we go. All right, so your yen. So your yen, we talked about this last week, getting into an entry here. And again, we marked this area off. As you guys can see, we had our stopper entry. Now, I'll continue this across just so you can see it. All right, we stayed within that range. And you can see we came down and we ended up hitting the 1 to 3 right here, actually. Hit it about an hour ago. Had you not gotten taken out on this push. So again, not a bad trade. This was one of those Harry Potter setups. The risk on it was about 17 pips. It took a long time for it to work though. So it's one of those like, oh man, it's going to keep going. It's going to keep going. It's going to keep going. So I would not be taking another short off of this zone, but it was a pretty valid entry. Now you could have also shrunk this one down a little bit if you wanted to take lower risk and brought it just inside of this range. Okay. But this was the Harry Potter that we had marked off last week, looking for a break of that zone. We were looking for the full retracement. We wanted to make sure we got at least a 1 to 3. But here's, again, you could have done the same thing with this level, waiting for a break, expecting it already. And it was, it's a level inside of a level, right? I mean, here was the zone we were looking to break last week, right? There. And then this is kind of a refined version, same level of risk, or, less risk, same level of entry. We just kind of brought it down based off the base and, what you saw in here. And actually, you could have shrunk that a little bit more if you wanted to there. And okay, so many different opportunities. Again, here's the small risk trade. Here was the original trade that we set up, the original Harry Potter. And this is why a lot of times it's, making sure we get the breakthrough. And again, here you can see this is, using the very, very bottom. Here's what we're talking about, right? I guess I can't really draw that. This one doesn't have the... Right. There you go. Oop, not triangle, but you guys get the point. But there's your triangle, right? So again, oh, that's perfect. I should save that on all the charts. Push down, retest, and then I continue to push. Now, it's been a little bit of extra time there, but that's not the end of the world. You would have never gotten stopped out in this trade. Just continue to push lower. So a couple different entries. All kinds of stuff is going to delete. That's fine. But you guys are able to see it. So I'll delete that right now. And where we are now, like I said, I still think this 15, I still think this area is a good area. Like I said, such a huge push off that area. That should be something that we're looking for. Price is about 53 pips from there right now. The ATR on the daily is 87, so it's absolutely well within range of coming in tomorrow. So, looking for areas of pullback. I mean, there is, you could make a case for kind of an area right there. We've come back up and retouched the area. You can see there's a basing level here. Kind of the wicks coming down and the touch. That's probably about the only entry that I'd be willing to kind of look at. Mine is coming back up here again. And again, this level up here is probably, you know what I would do? I would actually probably pull it for the wick over wick up here. Risk is that? Let's see. Well, it's only 8 pips risk. That's 12. Much happier with that one. So those would be the two areas that I'd be looking to get short off of, here or there. But again, that's, we're going to start confusing with entries and stuff like that. So, all right. So those are two levels I'm looking at to the downside. All right. What's up, Sir Loftus? All right. So let's go across to pound yen. So pound yen, you guys can see this one, a little bit of retrace, spent a lot of time in there. A couple different ways that you guys could have played this one in here, but again, it did actually retrace. That was the entry we had. It ended up going all the way through, dropping your 1 to 3, ended up hitting your 1 to 5 as well. So that was the end of last week. That was after chart school. So we'll go ahead and delete that, remove those, keep it a little cleaner. This zone was a prior one that we had talked about, and I'll extend this across so you can kind of see this one. This was one from forever ago, right? And again, did we come down? Yeah. Did we come down here? Yeah. Did it break through? Yeah. I mean, after it hit multiple times, if you got stopped on it, you got stopped on it. It's not the end of the world, but this was set up a long time ago. And you were actually, you were 33 pips into profit, and it only had about 15. So you were up over 2 to 1. you wouldn't have lost any money on this trade had you taken this Harry Potter. And again, it did go lower. I didn't quite make it to its 3-1, but at one point, like I said, at its peak here, you were up 32, right? And its final down here, again, in some type of a nadex position, it moved about 40 pips. So, there was some opportunity with it. Where we are right now, let's see. So we can remove this guy, clear that off from last week. So I like this area right here. I'll just bring this one down. Let's see. I'd probably mark a zone here. Let's see, how much risk we got in that? About 11. We could take a little bit more in there if we really needed to. I like that zone. Again, that's right above where the gap is. Go up to an hourly. Yeah, that's probably how I'd play it. I'd be looking at that on top side, that on bottom side. Okay. So you were looking at entry of approximately 132.04. And this zone starts at approximately 133.59. We'll just delete that one. Clear as many areas as possible. All right, so there we go, top and bottom on that one. Again, we're sitting right in the middle. There's really not a zone either direction, but we need 75 down or 75 up. Daily ATR is 122. So either of those two could be in play in the morning time. Again, there is that news at 4:30 tomorrow morning, so yeah, we'll see. It's not final services PMI is not going to be one of the big movers, right? You have been MIA, but that's okay. You're back. That's all that matters. Looking at pound dollar. So pound dollar, I think we're still good top or bottom here. We did have a push down, but you guys can see it really didn't do much. This one is moved. Let me see. 5 pips in the last 24 hours. So not really a big mover right now. As you guys can see, I mean, it's, it kind of pushed down and pushed back up again. Here's the daily. It's all kind of, whoops, you're not going to be able to see much on that one. You guys can see that's what it turned off of. This was something from last week. Whoops. Where's it? There was the zone. There was the zone from last week. We had talked about a touch bracket up top, and you guys can see that it did pull away pretty well from the touch bracket. Remove a lot of these now, get them out of the way. I'll leave those at the bottom. All right. So, do have another zone up top. Let's see. I'm going to pull this here. We'll continue this guy across. There. Let me see. Let me check the touch brackets first on this one. Log in. No, I'm not going to use the new beta platform. All right, let's see here. What do we got? All right. And you guys, I don't know if you saw it or not. It says knockouts now. Remember it used to say touch brackets last week? Now it is called knockouts. So they've actually changed the name. So there we go. All right, so let's see. So it looks like we're up in the 126.27 range. So yeah, so this guy right here, this TBKO1, that's actually not a bad bracket. So this would stop us out at 26.34, which puts us right 26.30, right about there. Yeah, right about in that range. So that's actually not a bad little touch bracket if we're able to get price back up into that range. That zone starts, let's drop this down to an hourly. You can see that zone starts here at 26.27. So it gives us kind of small risk. Again, on the hourly, it would need to push a little bit higher. And it's a little bit close. like I said, on this one, you can see the top of this goes to 26.47. So it's close. You know, it's pretty close. I'd be interested to see when this one breaks right here. This one will break about 20 pips. What the next one higher would print, it would be KO6, if that's the one that breaks, just to see how far it is on the other side. But that could be an interesting short possibility, you know, for the top side. Bottom side, I don't really love too many of these down here. I mean, I still think this 21, you know, this 21.51 in this range is probably the best. But again, you can see a lot of reduced movement here. So let's see, 21.51. Right now, nothing's even remotely close on the bottom side. We need everything to break on the bottom side. So there's no way we can look at that one. But right now, again, keep your eyes out for KO6. If not KO6, this KO2, this 26.34 could be a nice little short up top. And again, it has 4 days. It's Monday. We got 4 days to go. All right, so it's 3 and change, whatever. That could be a nice short. Touch brackets sounded more. Yeah, but they changed touch brackets because it's not like they're the only ones that have them, and the rest of the industry calls them knockouts. So they decided to stay consistent, even though they had their own. It's like kind of like you can either be the person that names it the first time, or you have to go with a, you know, it's like Xerox, right? I need to make Xerox copies. Xerox is just a company. You just need to make photocopies, right? So it's kind of the same idea. Okay. All right. So that's pound dollar. So euro pound. Whoops. Euro pound. Euro pound is about 35 pips lower than where we were, but you can see really we just had one spike and then a lot of basing. No real great levels in here, and even on the hourly we had talked about. Really, I mean, this is an old zone that we're approaching right now. We didn't actually set up any type of Harry Potter trade with it. You know, that was from last week, right? As far as clear moving areas in this one, let's see if I can remove this. Not that. I have to do this. I want to leave that because this is one of the ones we talked about last week. No. Take this off. Take that. Whoops. Take that off. Delete that. All right. So there is a small zone right here. Okay. That may be worth it. For some type of a short if we can get back up there. Now, it does have to go through a level of basing, so we'll see if it's able to clear it. I don't really see a whole lot down here, really, until we get to this basing level. Okay, there's a bunch of wicks in here. It's not the cleanest, but, you know, I wouldn't say that any of these levels have really been, you know, rock star type levels. Either of these two, I'd be looking at this range, or I'd be looking at this range. Either of those two. Right? And that's kind of outside the current range. And then again, that's using a 4-hour level. I would not use this bottom one right here. So, you know, shorter term, you know, there's a little bit of a level here, and again, a little basing. But I think for the most part, you know, actually, let's see. What does this one look like? It's okay. It's all right. It's all right of a level right below us. This one is all right. This will be touch number 3 or 4. I think 4 hours is the way to go. I think the 4 hours. So yeah, stay with the 4 hours. Just keep it a little bit safer on this one. Later in the week, we have a lot more European and pound data. I think that will be when to watch this one. So euro dollar. You can see euro dollar last week, guys, came off this top level. We'd marked off this red pink zone that we're talking about. Listen, we want to see price come back through. We want to see it retrace all the way back down again. We are about halfway through, and there really wasn't many great entries. As you can see, it's just really been slow and grindy. You know, last time was back here on the 1st. So what? Last Friday? Friday is when we dinged it, and since that time, it's just been grinding, and then slow. One little bounce and then kind of sideways. So euro just doesn't have a whole lot in it. Like I said, I think tomorrow probably. It looks like tomorrow it would want to grind down. I mean, I think it'll have a hard time going through this level. I wouldn't short off that level, but it should provide enough kind of you know, enough groups of sellers to kind of push this to the downside. You know, and I'd have to put targets. I'd probably put targets down in this range. So it would be looking to, overcome somewhere down here. Okay, you want to make sure you're out of this position. Do this here just so it's not confusing. All right. Yeah, no real setups I love on this one. This is not a bad zone. If we're able to get that high again. And that's at, let me put a tag on that one for you. That's not horrible. And actually the zone is really technically back here, but that's okay. Let's see. That's at 109.38 to 109. Let's see. See what we got matching up for this guy. 109.49. Everything is way off on that one. Yeah, we're just not even close. Let's see, we're at 109.14 right now. Yeah, there's just so much room on this one. There's not, I mean, typically we're able to find something up top. Am I looking at the right pair? Yeah. Look at that. Look how off that is. There is not even anything remotely close. I mean, we're at 109.49. The closest one over here is 101 or 109.71, which is all the way 109.71 is all the way up here. All right. So yeah, so there's no touch bracket set on that one. We may have to try something a little bit smaller, but that's definitely a zone to watch out for. That 109.38. Again, 11 pip risk is not bad risk whatsoever, especially on something in a smaller time frame. If we can be up in that range tomorrow for ISM non-manufacturing PMI, there could be a nice little setup. Just remember that news comes in tomorrow at 10 a.m. right here. Right here. Okay. And again, if that news is positive, just like the manufacturing PMI was, what that could do is give us some dollar strength, and that could lead us to the downside. So this is one of those ones, you may want to set yourself an alert right in that range. Okay. Get into it a little bit before entry, and again, perfect news setup for tomorrow. All right. Dollar CAD. So this is the only real big mover today, and you guys can see. Wait, where did I go with it? Let me pull this back over here. I have certain spots where I like everything. All right, so this one is pushed down, obviously, right? Looking at this on a 4-hour, you can see that it really just today, since Friday, has done really not a whole lot. It retraced back up again. Didn't quite get as high as the 42.19 that we wanted. It did hit a minor level, and then really it didn't do much. It's down about 70 pips in the last 24 hours. And if you go over here, you guys can see the 7 candles down. Here you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? That's where most of the movement has happened in the last, and really it's most of it, I guess a majority of it, the last 30 pips has happened in the last 2 hours. Otherwise, it was kind of back and forth. It was basing off a level here. It did find some buyers, kind of pop back up again. There was a small bit of an entry right here. But this was like super early, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. That was the only kind of pullback in. It was a good trade. You guys can see here, it ended up hitting the 1 to 3. It does not hit the 1 to 5 yet. And the 1 to 3 would have been where to target. Right here where that pop is, you want to make sure you're out. And again, you guys can see it here and then pop and then boom. And then it really stabilized right at that same level of basing. But that was it. Unless you were in, right place, right time at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning for the London Open, you would have missed this trade. And after that, there really was no type of setup on this one. Now, tomorrow, it does look like once it continued to push down, I would have to say kind of the same thing. We had that other line. I would make sure that you're out of any short inside of that area. Choose white. And there's a level on top of a level here. There's like one here, and then there's one right below it. I can't say that I'm going to take a bullish position off of either of these two, though. For me at this point, I think this continues to push to the downside. Even with good manufacturing PMI number, I don't know that would actually give us the bump versus the CAD at this point. Because again, they are also associated with manufacturing. So yeah, this is kind of a weird one. I mean, the ATR on the daily is down to 125. You can see that it kind of took a little bit of a pop last week, but we're within striking distance, but not of anything magical, right? I mean, this was definitely not clean trending. So yeah, just not a big fan. I still like this 13.7, this 137.78. I do like this zone, but we're quite a bit of ways from there. We're about 290 pips. So this one's kind of on the radar and kind of in a holding pattern. Like I said, I was not up at 2 o'clock in the morning, so I was unable to take that trade. So whoops, I just moved it. All right. All right. Looking at the yen. So the yen right now is actually sitting inside of a demand zone. Overall today, we're down about 21 pips, and a lot of that came in the last, what, hour and a half, 2 hours ago. There's been some movement in here. I mean, if we take, let's see, here's where we are now. You can see that there was that spike. Here's where we were last night. So, I mean, here's the whole movement, right? You're talking about 17, 21 pips. This did go up to a level that was pretty close. You could have taken this. This is where you get into some problems. So had you taken it off this level, it shows here that you would have gotten entered. You wouldn't have gotten entered. Unfortunately, it just didn't cover the spread. So anywhere up here, I would say this zone is probably good for one more hit. It's pushed it away twice. So here was kind of that, whoops. I would just move this over. This is kind of what I'm looking for tomorrow, for any kind of like long, I'm looking for a short in that position, right? But I'll leave that one there and I'll bring this one across. There you go. All right, now this is here. All right, so let's see, 107. Curious about the distal side on this one. 107.14 is the top side. So 107.35 is unfortunately the closest on this KO4. I say 107.35 would be the top side, which is way up here. Yeah, it's kind of a bit far. Let me see. No, 107.52 is still kind of the best option there. So this is probably worth it for a smaller trade, depending on when we can get back to that level to take a short for it. Touch bracket wise, though, this 107.52, those to this one over here, the 62, matches better with this range. Okay, matches better with the 4 hours. Going long though. These are 1 hour ones, right? Yeah, those are 1 hours. Just get them off the chart. Go up to a 4 hour. About 152 to get down there. Oops, not that one. Let's see here. Let's see if that matches a bracket. 104, yes. Maybe. This one right here is close, the KO4. I think on the way down, I think we'll get one printed a little bit better, but that could be a nice little pop. So 104.84, obviously, or 85, is a bit high because this one is about a 50 pip spread to the downside. I think the next bracket lower, maybe. Yeah, the next one would probably be down at the 35 range. Here. Yeah, that would be nice. Actually, the next bracket down could be a nice place for us to get long. It's about a day away. We need some decent movement tomorrow. Unfortunately, 21 pips in 24 hours is not going to do it for us. But one more bracket to the downside. Again, if it prints at 104, if it prints at 104.34, which would be the next one according to this pattern, that would actually be a nice little position here to get a little bit of a long position out of it. So keep your eyes on that one. Again, if you're going to set yourself a little bit of an alert, set yourself an alert kind of sitting up in this area right here. Oops. Something along those lines. Right? Up there, right above at the 105.38-ish range. right? That puts you right in the middle. 105.25, somewhere in there. Set yourself an alert and check that one out. I'm gonna end up setting that one and kind of seeing, because I think that touch bracket's pretty close. All right, but right now you guys can see just sideways movement. There's really, like I said, even on the 30-minute, it's just that it was that one little pop here, and that's all we got right now. I wouldn't be going long off this zone. It's tagged it many times here, and now we're at it again. I think if anything, we're in for more of a collapse, but I know with this pink line that we do have a zone above, so we'll see. All right. Dollar Swiss. So dollar Swiss just bounced off of a level hours ago. You can see it's kind of turning back to the downside. I don't think we're even remotely close yet to the 3-to-1. Actually, we were closer than I thought. For some reason, I thought it was down over here. Maybe it's the 1-to-5 that I was looking at. So smaller position in this one. I do see this one coming all the way back down, and I think this one will put profits in. We will be able to get back to this 95.99. I don't think anything. I don't think we have anything super strong right now, especially with seeing some of the recent kind of reinfection rates and things with COVID-19. But I do think this will kind of, the way that it's looking, it looks like the sellers have definitely created a base up here, and they're starting to push price down. So I embarrass this pair. Don't have an entry to take this one minus what we saw here. Even down here on this 30-minute level, I'm not really worried about it. The level's actually over here. This is the first test of this level. So I would say that let me see here. I don't even know how close it is. I actually can't say that I've ever traded a touch bracket on dollar Swiss. Let me see. Let's see here. Order. Let's see here. What do we got? All right, so that's perfect. Look at that. I put it actually just on the other side of the range. There's a 96.68, and there's a 96.67 right here. So that's not horrible, guys. There is a touch bracket, within range on that one. It looks like if you were able to catch this one, I don't know if anybody did because it just missed that area. You're up about 14 on it right now. The risk on it's only about 7, so that's not bad. It may be worth, if price is able to rally up to that tomorrow, that may actually be worth taking something small on it. That's pretty close, but look at that. It came right off that level. We missed it by a pip, and it's right there. I don't think it entered though. Let's see. No, it didn't. I can see the line right now. So spot currency would not have gotten to that position, unfortunately. And again, you may or may not have gotten that, depending on your broker, with your touch bracket, and that would be the KO4. Okay. Let's see. The text is KO.4. I know you guys can't see this. I can barely see it. There we go. All right. Coming through to there. All right. So let's go over to the indices. All right. So indices, we've got a lot of different stuff going on here. Okay. You guys can see where the gap was. Let's delete a couple of these. A lot of these were touch brackets and things like that from last week. So let's remove those. So that touch bracket was okay. That was one we talked about last week. It's over here. All right. So on a daily, again, you guys can see we did push that down, and again, green is not bad, right? And this is what we're looking at on the 4 hour. So the gap obviously gave us a little bit of a problem. We're kind of in an area right now of sellers. I wouldn't be super concerned right now with anything to the upside, really, until we get back over here to this 90.83, and anything on the other side of 91.57 is probably top side. I do still like this target if we're able to get this low. I don't think this little area here is going to give us much resistance. I also don't think this one is going to be too harsh. I still think the one to look for down here would be this guy. Okay, would be a combination of the green line as well as this white one, which would be approximately down here in this 83.95-ish range. I think that's kind of a good base. Besides anything, these things smaller. On an hourly, you can see we're about to break through this zone here. It was an all right zone. I wouldn't say that, again, I would say that that's more or less the retest off the gap. And same thing, I'd say this top section up here, which you can see on the 4 hour, which will give us a little bit better of a definition. I think seeing it here gives us a better view than what we see here on the hourly. I guess the hourly is not horrible. But little zone here, right? Little zone here tomorrow. Keep your eye on that. Changes back to white. Okay. That may be an interesting level. About 130 off of right now. Yeah. Actually, whoops. I don't actually mind that zone. And again, I'm marking that off because if we can be up to there tomorrow before ISM, or if we're right at that level at ISM, 10 o'clock is a possible reversal time. So that would be something I'd be willing to take a short off of tomorrow morning. So I'm going to keep that one marked off. Other side, though, I don't really... Down here, there's nothing that's super explosive. I mean, this is... You could say, yeah, that's a nice little pop. But yeah, but the retest was back over here during these basing levels. And this was at... Yeah, these are 8 and 9. These are 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. So these were all levels formed right at the open, which is reacting to any news that we had on Saturday. So that's why we saw that kind of pullback and then punch forward. Yeah, so I'd watch this one tomorrow morning. Start looking at it about 9:30ish. See where levels have pushed in, what levels have formed in that 8:30 hour, and then just be again cautious with that 10 o'clock ISM non-manufacturing PMI would be the way to play it. What's going to be on my radar is going to be, again, I'm going to make sure I set an alert. Set an alert up in this area right here, approximately that area. Looking for a short entry up here at 900375. Okay. All right, S&P. So S&P is actually getting up to a level. Okay. And you guys can see here was that. I think if I extend this across. Here, let me mark this off just to make sure. How's that for Harry Potter? It broke down to that level, pushed up, right? And then look at this. Clean break, stayed in, and then boom, collapsed. All right. And again, this is one of those, like if it opens here, you took, basically you're going almost 2-to-1, over 2-to-1 over the weekend. Typically I don't do the Harry Potters, and I play the gaps a little bit differently with the 3 indices. They're just different animals, so you got to be a bit more cautious. But yeah, so there was an entry in this zone to the downside, and you guys can see blew through your 1 to 3. Now we're pulling back up to that same zone. It did form another level when it was creating that Harry Potter, so we can actually take this off now. Okay. And where we are now, there's probably a short, but it's not necessarily something that I'd be willing to trade into the overnight. Being with the fact that today was not really, I don't know, I mean, currency-wise, it was not a huge mover. I don't know that I'd take it in the overnight. I don't do as much of these in the overnight. I do like the level. I just don't think it will be. If it doesn't turn off of it now, I don't think it'll be here tomorrow morning. Levels in here that I do really, really like. I do really like this level. I like the way this level formed here. I liked it hit a base. I liked its drop. I like the fact that it gapped. There will be some sellers here. There will be some sellers here. And there will probably be some sellers in here. It's just what time of day are we going to hit it? And that will matter kind of the power of how much it can really kind of turn around and take a short on it. So I like that. 2909 for me is an area that I like. Downside, for taking longs, a shame this isn't, which if it's 8:30 tomorrow morning, we'd be good here. But yeah, so I like this one. Right now, nothing screams long. Let's see. Yeah, the best is, I think, let's see, 2640. Yeah, I guess that one's not bad. It's okay. For any longs, I would still wait for a pullback on a lower time frame in the morning. I think is the way to play this one. I like the NQ better than this one right now. But yeah, 2909 is going to be kind of a short. I'll look at it in the morning. I don't really see anything in the overnight right now. Let's see. So this one does have a little bit of a level that could be worth shorting right here. Okay. Changes to white. They've removed that. We can always throw that. Whoops. I like the way that this came down. This one's okay. This is a minor level as well. You could technically, again, depending on how aggressive you wanted to be, there is a level here, right? It did drop. It did go sideways. It did drop, and it did retest it. So obviously, valid zone. I would say this is aggressive. The top one is a little bit more conservative. Either of those two levels are probably fine. Again, a lot of it is time dependent. What time of day is it going to probably hit that area? If we continue to rally in the overnight on this one, I would actually really like this for tomorrow morning. If 8:30, 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, this would be a pretty nice one. And this would be shorting and again, look at your thing, but you're looking at approximately. You're looking at about that range. 24083 is on top side. 24037 is on the bottom side. Taking that as a bit of short. That one's not bad. I don't mind that one. I'm kind of hoping that one at like 8:30, 9 o'clock tomorrow is what we're dealing with at the open. I think that'd be good. All right, looking at gold. Gold. So look at this messiness. So for me, I talked about this one last week. We had a zone up top, a nice little touch bracket up top. At this point, I think we need to focus on the 17.69 level. I think that's a good area to short. These were kind of two pieces that we had talked about down low. Really, as far as clean goes, we're looking like here and here right now. These are the two buying and selling areas. This is all junk. There's nothing in here really to trade. There's a little level sitting in here. Nothing great though. So I think top and bottom, if we want clean, it's going to be 17.69 and 16.62 on the bottom side. We really need some type of a spike or a grind. Hopefully in the overnight it gets us a little bit more. We're kind of in the middle right now. Really nothing to trade with that one. So again, this is a 30-minute zone. So I think these are top and bottom. I think we're good there. Silver, yeah. Silver. All right, this is silver. Okay, not trending. We're moving from 1472 to 1497, so about a 20 pip range. Just nothing. We were hoping for kind of pushes higher or low, and didn't really get anything in this one. So yeah, let's wait till we get down at least in this range for any type of I'd kind of bracket it off highs and lows, depending on what time of day. Again, you want this trading during normal hours. So 1537 up top and 1462 down below. But again, not trending. Typically sideways. There's not even worth it, right? We want trending markets, not working. WTI, you guys can see this one around a bit higher. I think I did finally close that down. I was restarting my machine the other day, so I don't have the same type of level, but it was starting to match back up again. We were pushing a bit higher. So it's good to see price moving back up again. Actually, let me see. I'll just pull it up real quick. Daily effects. Let's just do crude oil. It's just easy to just do it again. All right. We'll go down to a 30-minute. All right. So that was a 30-minute. So everything that we were dealing with was back over in here in this range. Okay. So where we are now, we'll go back up to an hourly. All right. What this is doing is giving us kind of like a stabilization area to the downside, right? So we're able to see kind of in this range right in here, right? And you're seeing that's a nice little level. We came higher, we pulled back, and this is what the low was, right? Based off of what we saw today. Price came across, used that same level, and then took off. Now, it's starting to form, big question is, okay, what are we going to run into the top side? So on a daily basis, getting a view here, you can see that we did have a drop. We did have a sideways. We did have a drop. It wasn't super explosive. There's another layer here. Again, explosive movement, sideways, explosive movement. That's up in that $30 range. Let's see. Can we get a 4-hour? There we go. Yeah, let's see. What do we have here? Yeah, so see, we're kind of in an area right now. I was trying to see where the next big spike came from. None of this is impressive. We're kind of past it. Here's where we are. Here's where we are right now. Horizontal line. That's kind of where we're sitting right now. So, although today was a pretty strong day, pretty straight up since they opened this weekend, um, it looks like it's in an area where there should be selling stepping back in, and that manufacturing number may affect it tomorrow. Um, yeah, I would have to say I'm probably more bearish this position at this point. Let's see. With price at there, let's kind of look at prices at 29 or what is it? 23.97 to 24.59. Yeah, there's not a whole lot close. There's a 24.75, but that's just a bit. It's like way up here. Something real quick. This is the 4. Let me see if I can refine that level down a little bit. Yeah, I can. All right, so yeah, that makes it a little bit better. That drops us to 24.18 to 24.54. This one's still a little bit high. So it looks like 24.75 is on the top side. So you're talking about taking an additional 20-cent risk on it. It's a bit much. I'd like if it was a little bit closer, but it's a bit much. Current price is listed at 21.63. And again, this is why there's a little bit of a difference. Because, on here, right now, this one is saying that we're at 23.80. So, again, you really got to kind of focus on the actual piece, but it just to kind of give you guys a somewhat of an idea. Let me see. Maybe I can do it over here. And see, let's see. Drawings. Horizontal line. Let's see. Bring it up here. Starting with Nadex. There. Duplicate it. There. So yeah, so this one's giving you 21.54, 21.85. So it's not far off, right? So yeah, I don't think that's that much off at all, right? Yeah, 24.54, 24.18. Yeah, so I guess it's off by about $2, but kind of the same idea. Sorry, let's match. Let's see. So based off of this, it's the same zone. They're still off. It's still that 54 is the top side, and we're still off by 75. So I don't like the oil touch brackets on this one. So I was hoping we'd be a bit closer, maybe if we break some of them, but it looks like that's where we're going to be at. It's always going to be the 75s, which if it was a 50, then yeah, I'd be cool with it, but a 75 is not going to work for me. Does that platform have natural gas? Does which platform? This have charts on natural gas? Or do you mean daily effects? This one? This one has natural gas, yeah. Go into commodities. Go natural gas. And you can pull natural gas right here. But you don't have all the options. Daily is the only one you can go to. So, but Nadex, you can see it. Commodities, I think it's, yeah, natural gas right here. You can pull charts for natural gas here. And I think you can go. There you go. Yeah, so you have more options here with the actual pieces if you're using it. But I don't typically look at natural gas, so I can't help you there. All right. So with that being said, that's kind of the end for tonight. We're right at 10 o'clock. It was a little bit faster. And again, like I said, with the condensed pattern or the condensed piece, there wasn't a whole lot of news to talk about. Biggest things that I'm looking for again tomorrow, guys. There's actually quite a bit of news, and again, there's a lot it's kind of spread out. Late tonight, early tomorrow morning, our normal time at 8:30, at 10 o'clock news, and again, this could really be moving things again. I think this is going to come in a bit more positive than what they're saying at 37.5, which could give us a big kind of boost. Um, I don't think, like I said, I think there's so much over negativity at this point. I think this could be a surprise. And then tomorrow at 6:45, I think there's a potential. Again, this coming at point 2. They're expecting to be much, much worse. And only point 4, New Zealand could definitely, there could definitely be some movement tomorrow with New Zealand pairs. I think they could be, some nice potential there. But right now, look, I mean, 1 pip in the pound, like 17, 18, 21 in the pound yen. It's just a flat market right now. So, and then look at this, even dollar CAD is down to 64. So even dollar CAD is shrinking. So not too much there. So let's go ahead and get in for the giveaway, guys. I'll give you guys about 1 more minute to get in. I'll do it at like 106.30 and we'll kind of call it quits. Mondays have been kind of weird lately. It's either a huge movement based off of news that gets released over the weekend, or it's like just flat and just nothing going on. And unfortunately, today looks like it was just more or less a flat with not even a whole lot of setups and not a whole lot to look at it. So, and again, that's typically how I structure my day. I'll go in there, I'll look to see how much movement is there. I'll look to see if anything's close, and if it's not, there's other things that I can be doing. Homeschooling with 2 kids and then the 2-year-old is that takes priority when the markets are flat for me. So, all right, we got another 40 seconds to get in on this one. Let's see here. And I see Josh in there. Someone's going. Look at this. They talk about states reopening, and what happens here? Josh's daughter is getting some tickets. He's looking for some gas money. Ernest knows my pain with homeschooling. Telling you, anybody that's homeschooling right now, much respect for you. Homeschooling is it's a challenge. 9 more seconds, and then we will go ahead and do the drawing for this evening. Oh, got to hit stop. Where is it? There we go. I always like to wait. What are you looking at? I'm new in this. Kuman. Yeah, so Kuman, what I typically do is, so I am a price action trader. So I like to read candles. It doesn't really matter what it is. We just look at the candles and look for formations. Not actual candlestick patterns, but looking for supply and demand. So what I typically do is I do a presentation every week for Nadex. So I try to stay consistent with that at night as well. So Monday through Thursday, what I'll do is I'll break down basically all the major currency pairs. And then we'll look at different kind of setups where there's buying and selling areas for people. We'll break down gold, silver, and oil. And I'll also break down the NQES and YM. And then sometimes people will occasionally come in and ask for like a specific stock or something. I don't mind doing that. I'll break down stocks if, a person has a question on one. But again, it's more or less people will come here because they want to learn how to read charts. I focus on, technical analysis more than anything else. 37-second delay for you. Yeah, that's not actually that bad. That's not bad. 37 seconds. All right, and then at the end of every night, Kuman, what we do is we do a drawing for pip chips. Pip chips is just a currency inside of the channel. You can do things like buy like mentoring sessions where we could literally break down chart after chart if you want. We can go through market psychology, forming trade plans, trading as a business, candles in general, how to read candles. I mean, it could be whatever you want. I mean, I've done all kinds of things. I've been having more issues figuring out how to use the interface itself than reading the charts. What interface? Which one are you talking about? You talking about the actual trading platform itself? Oh, let me go ahead and do the drawing real quick. Drawing tonight winner is Nadex. Nadex Ernest. TradingView, yes. Yeah, so I don't use TradeView. I know a lot of people that do. I mean, I'll poke it up there and that chart that we just pulled up here. These are actually TradingView charts. So the important thing about, kind of understanding any of the platforms, and again, this is, in my eyes, this is why demo trading exists, is I don't like demo trading because people try to get confidence out of it, right? You're like, oh, my demo account, I'm up 90%. Demo mode is to understand platforms. Every platform is a little bit different with how things are entered, with some of the symbols that get put in there. They're all just slightly different. They all do the same exact thing. It's just navigating around. So the best way to get in there is go in a demo and try to do things like try to place like a lot of fake trades. You don't care about about the results. You want to understand the processes of what's happening inside of the platform. Are you position sizing correctly? Are you entering the trades correctly? Is the terminology the same as what you're used to? That's the most important thing. Okay. And again, TradingView is a great platform. I know a lot of people that use it. It's nice because it is online and there's a lot of things you can do with it. But I mean, they're all really, in essence, they're all really the same. I mean, again, this is MT4. It's very basic. It's the most used platform in the world. It's easy. It's simple. Is it flashy? No, absolutely not. But it's all the same. I mean, you can click, new orders. I mean, this is the order entry. It's very basic, but the thing that gets people here is the volume. Well, what do you mean 0.1 and 1 and 8? It's like, what does that mean? How many am I putting in? Like, is this a mini? Is it a standard? Is it a micro? They don't do a great job explaining all those things. So every platform's a little bit different. Yeah, they disappeared. Also, okay. I don't know if I can. I'm pretty sure I can bring it up here, right? Let's see. What were you looking at? Your RSI? Let's see. I don't think I can click on it. That's a compare symbol. And like I said, everything is over here. Nope, it's not that one. Nope, not the magnet. Nope, not that one. Like I said, I may not be able to do it with this one right now. What are we looking for? MACD. They should have MACD in here. This is just patterns. Yeah, I probably don't. Let's see. No, I'm not going to have it inside of this one because this is just a kind of like sub version of it, right? I mean, it's because it's going through somebody. So it's not any of the ranch channels. So you're going to have better stuff. But yeah, it shouldn't disappear, but you should be fine. I'm just here to learn whatever I can. Yeah, duty. So again, what you can do, and again, this is just a TradingView chart. What you can do here, you may not trade some of the things that we're looking at. The way that I look at charts and the way that I read charts is exactly the same, no matter if it's a stock, an option, anything else. All charts, if it's buyers and sellers, they're all done the same way. So what you can do here and what you can gain from coming to the channel is, we'll start talking about, what is this area called here? We'll talk about this area, and why was there a setup here? Why was there a short here? Okay. Whoops. See, this is a double click one. It's a little bit different. All right. Why is this in natural gas? Why is there an area right now of natural gas? Why does it keep bouncing off of this area right here? Right. We've hit here. We've hit here. We've hit almost here. We're hit there again. So that's what you can get. You can learn how to read charts by coming to the channel. And we're typically on from 9 to about 10:15, 10:30, Monday through Thursday. And then if you're more than welcome to join us. But I will broadcast on the channel tomorrow afternoon at noon. And that'll be a Nadex broadcast. So if you ask questions, I probably won't see them until after the broadcast is over. What I'm doing is I'm streaming through Nadex's platform for their clients. And then what happens is I just hit the stream button on my PC. So it's dual streaming, but it's kind of like blind on this end. Biggest thing I worry about is making sure that the microphone is turned on, because I've actually streamed it where you're not getting the microphone from me. Nadex people can hear me, but I don't have it set because the streaming software is different. So, but yeah, so that'll be tomorrow noon. So if you're around tomorrow during the day, stop in around noon tomorrow. You'll see a streaming, and I'll be breaking things down on a daily basis. All right. So with that being said, guys, I'm gonna bolt. It's 10 after 10. You guys have a good night. Hopefully tomorrow we have some more movement. I'm really hoping with all the news that we have, tomorrow is a better day, more movement. Like I said, 1, 12, 17. 15, just not huge movers today. And again, it's a Monday. The market doesn't like Mondays either. The market is tired of homeschooling and, social distancing. It wants parties left and right. And we'll start getting some movement of it. All right. So you guys have a good night. I will catch you tomorrow.